All right, in today's 5-Minute Gardener, planting wildflowers now that'll bloom in the spring. Even though it's cold outside, now's the time to put those seeds in the ground if you want to enjoy spectacular color come March and April. Our 5-Minute Gardener, Debbie Mounds from Harlow Gardens, shows us how easy it is.
Hi, it is the end of October. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful out here. It's a perfect time of the year to think about those wildflowers that are so beautiful in the spring. So what I've got here is I've got a pot with soil in it that I've already prepared, and all it is potting soil. But we're going to pretend like this is ground in your backyard. That's a hard thing to do around here, but we're going to pretend like this is the ground in your backyard. So there's lots of different types of wildflowers, and I'll talk more about those in the studio, but I'm going to show you how to plant them here in the nursery. Now what you want to do is you want to loosen your soil or your ground. Just down a couple inches is really all you need to do. And then what I like to do is I like to just take the seed and sprinkle them on the surface of the soil. And then what I do, instead of trying to rake them into the soil, I then like to come along. So I've got a good distribution of seed here, just lightly spread. But then what I do is I come along and cover them with about 1/4 of an inch of soil. Now you can do that, you can use mulch, you could use potting soil. The reason you're using the soil on top is that's going to help hold moisture into the seeds, and it's also going to protect some of the seeds from the birds. All right. So I've got some soil here. Now this happens to be potting soil, but all I'm doing is, like I said, is sprinkling about 1/4 of an inch of soil on top of the seeds that I've planted right along here. Now the one thing that confuses people about wildflowers is that they think you can just throw the wildflowers out and not water them. Well, that doesn't work too well. So I'm going to water mine every day. And you're going to start, you just need a real gentle light watering for the wildflowers. And I'm going to start by just doing a little shower on top of those guys that I just planted. And you're going to need to get out there every day, so be sure to plant the wildflowers in a spot where you can water them, where you have access to a water source. Once the winter rain hits, they'll start to come up in a couple weeks to a month. You can water them occasionally and let the winter rains take care of the rest.
Yeah, they look good. And this is it. You planted them that was 3 weeks ago.
This is 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm.
Here they are.
So they're about this tall now. Yeah. And of course, I mean, I planted way too many seeds in this small pot. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't do this in your garden. This amount of seed would go about 200 square feet normally, because these plants will get big. Mm-hmm. So this pot won't survive like this. Mm-hmm. But I did want people to see how quickly they come up and what they look like. And as I say, this has just been after 3 weeks worth of growth.
Now, if somebody wanted to do this and then separate them later and kind of plant them, would that be doable?
Well, you could if it weren't so thick.
Okay.
It's just too thick. You'd really rip roots and everything to get at them now. You could plant them thinner, but it's really easier and better with wildflowers. That's why they're wildflowers. They like to kind of germinate and grow where they're set. And like they do like around a Picacho Peak and stuff, they're just sitting there waiting to grow. Yeah. So it's not an easy thing to do. And there's things like bluebells in here. There's California poppies. There might be I think there's flax in this one.
It's beautiful.
Oh, it's wonderful. They're really wonderful.
And since we're talking about cold weather today, they should protect their plants tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Anything that needs, that's tender. Some of your new flowers you may have planted, those new blossoms are going to be tender. So just protect the blossoms.
With what?
Generally, we recommend frost cloth. Okay. It's something that you can buy. But if you don't have that, you can use sheets. But make sure that they're lifted up above the plant material. Protect things like lantana that are newly planted, bougainvillea, some of your citrus, your hibiscus, anything that's tropical or anything that has young tender growth is going to get nipped with this cold. Okay. And make sure they're well watered.
Mm-hmm. That helps, doesn't it?
It does. Something that's well watered
The frost saps the moisture right out of the plant, and anything that's well hydrated is less susceptible to the frost.
Cover up those tender
babies.
Tender plants. All right,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All righty.